Hi and welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be showing you how I do my coloring on Medibang. I do basically cell shading, but I soften the lines, and I'm gonna show you how I do that. So let's get started. Hey, sorry in advance for the chainsaws. They absolutely have to be doing this right now. So I just sped this up to show you where I'm placing my shadows, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit about what I'm doing. My layer mode is set to multiply at 60% opacity, and I'm using actually a grayish color, which is not something that I do a lot. But where I am using the colors from the actual Homestuck sprites, and Bro Strider is, a white sprite. A lot of the other shading colors on that layer mode wouldn't show up, but if you really wanted to do that, you could just shade on normal with just a lowered opacity, and it sort of just does the same thing. But there's two ways that you can do this. You can use the selection wand to select the area that you want to fill, or you can do sort of like I do in some of the bigger areas and just outline it with your shadow color and then hit the fill tool to fill in the larger area, because I'm going to show you here in a minute, even if you do end up with some rougher lines on the outside, how you can blend those out. And you can always take your eraser and erase parts that are sort of like a wobbly line or jutting out or anything like that. But yeah, that's the first step, and I will be back in a minute to tell you the rest. Okay, so now that I have all of my base colors sort of plumped into place, plumped is a new word, by the way, I'm going to show you two different ways you can do this. And the first way, it's basically the same method, but you can either add or take away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my airbrush, and you can make the brush as big as you need it to for as much as you want to sort of space out the shading. And I have the opacity down to 10% so I can really build up the taper. So like I'm going to start here on his arm, and we're just going to get in real close here. And I'm going to make the brush a little bit bigger because I have a bigger surface area to cover. And I'm going to start just brushing outward. And you can see that there are still sort of lines that you can see, but that's okay because there's a third step to this that we're going to fix that later. And you just get a really nice taper there. And I'm going to do it here on the other side as well. So on, you get the idea for that part anyway. And the other part I was going to show you is the takeaway. So I'm going to use the same brush, same size, same everything, but I'm going to hit the basically the transparent instead of using my shadow color. So like on the leg here, I have a little bit too much shading, I think. So instead of trying to build, I'm gonna come in and I'm just gonna take away. And you can see that it sort of gives you that same soft effect. You're just going inside of your shading line instead of outside of your shading line. Yeah. See, doesn't that look nice? Okay. So I am going to finish doing that and I will come back and we will finish the rest of this up. Alright, and the last thing that we're going to do for this is I had to download this one. It's the soft blur brush, and I leave it at 100%, and you kind of want the brush pretty big for the effect to work, but you can make it smaller. It does have the tendency to take out a little bit, so you do have to be careful with it, but all I do is I go over the lines and the parts where I have blended out with the airbrush sort of, it helps taper them off a little bit so it doesn't look so muddy and not blended, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So you just sort of go over it like this and it softens everything out. And you can use this method also if you do any kind of soft highlights. I also use this when I do highlights in hair. I will do a strong highlight with my G pen, and I make the H-shape kind of lightning bolt looking anime dealy in the hair, and I will come in with either, sometimes both, it just depends on the color of the hair and how strong the highlight's looking, but I will come in with the blur brush or the transparent airbrush, and on either side I sort of just scoot it in so it tapers it in a bit and doesn't leave that looking so strong when everything else I do is like really soft. And that is my 3-part shading tutorial for coloring. gonna just finish this real quick and add a few finishing touches and we'll be done. Okay, there he is. He's done. Captain Maname himself. What do you know about that? If you like this video, I'll be back on Saturday with another one. I've been doing pretty good keeping up with these so far. So far, so good. Expect another video on Saturday at noon EST. And if you want, you can catch me live on twitch.tv/CherikaSharpArt on Wednesday afternoons and Sunday mornings. And yeah, I'll see you next time. But wait, there's bloopers!
Oh, hey, Cherry, what are you doing during the quarantine? You know, not much.
Hi, and welcome. What am I doing? It should be more like, hey. Sup? Oh no. What have I done? Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm here to tell you about Old Spice body spray. God. I forgot to shade his face. He's got a manly nose. That's the only thing manly in this picture. It's the only thing that's manly. Got the anime shades. Okay.